Hi everyone, my name's Lee. Welcome to my channel Cola Flipper. Today I'm going to be taking you through a rescue of a pair of boots. Not sure if I'm going to keep them for myself because I think they're about half size too big, so they might be for me, but if I don't, I could make a lot of money if I resell them. So yeah, here's my, it's not pretty, but this is my workshop. This is where I do all the shoe cleaning and repairs, so I'll give you a miniature tour and open up my the boots that I've just had delivered this morning and take you through the rescue and improvements. I guess we'll start up here. So up in the roof I've got my shoes that have been cleaned that are now drying. So I've got a pair of Adidas Superstars, a pair of New Balance, some pink Dr. Martens, some more Adidas Superstars, Adidas Stan Smiths, and some Todd loafers. Got a massive box of Uggs still to clean there, another box of shoes all to clean there. All my cleaning paraphernalia. I've got that big rolling suitcase full of cleaning paraphernalia and a beer to keep me out of trouble. And then that package is that's been delivered to me today, so I'll open it up and show you what else we got. Actually, more shoes and clothes, shoes, more shoes, some shoes. Yeah, a lot of shoes in here. So you'll have to excuse the mess in here a little bit because this is not a laboratory, this is a workshop. If I'm going to be cleaning shoes, I don't want to be doing it in my house because they've been on other people's feet and the floor, and they're probably full of gross stuff. So I wouldn't want to do it in my kitchen or my bathroom, which is why I clean it in my workshop. So I bought these on eBay this week and they've been delivered already, so it's taken about 2 days. And I've specifically been looking for this type of boot in my size for a little while now. And this is about half size too big, but that can be rectified with either a leather insole or if it's a size too big, it could go with a sheepskin, like shearling sheepskin type insole. So these brand new would have been, well, I'll take them out so you can have a look. These are not in great shape, but I can rescue them. So the person's actually taken quite a lot of care getting them to me. It's pretty beat up. These are going to need work. But these are Trickers boots. I think these are Trickers Malden. Brand new. These are about £450. Trickers is a fantastic British manufacturer. These are made in Northampton. Northampton. Pretty sure it's Northampton, which is basically where all the best British shoes are made. Super soft but very sturdy leather. I mean, this is super thick and quality, so you've got a nice tough outside, but you've got a nice soft lining leather, so it's stitched together there. These are Goodyear welted, and these are replacement soles. So these boots have had a new sole put on previously. Things to look for: Goodyear welt. The welt is this thing. It's stitched to the upper of the shoe, and then the welt is stitched to the leather sole, and this has also got the rubber commando sole on the bottom. So this is going to be, it's a super watertight seal, again, hence why these are expensive, and only good brands will Goodyear welt their shoes. A lot will have fake stitching up here and fake stitching there to make it look like it, and it's not the same thing. So these, whilst they may look beat up, I'm going to get these looking pretty damn good. So once they are so old and worn that you can't even see the triggers, can't even see that they're triggers, but these are, can you see inside? Let's get the laces out and have a look. Other brands that do shoes of this quality, Grenson, really, really good. Don't know if you're going to be able to see the Trickers logo in them. I can just about make out there's Trickers there. So yeah, these, I'm going to have these looking pretty good. Nothing I can really do about the fraying on the rear tag, but the leather, I can get that looking good again. Yeah, so I would guess should start rescuing them. Now, whilst you won't need my next tool, I bought it because I clean an awful lot of shoes. So basically, if you're cleaning, you can usually just get your hand inside the shoe and you basically clean it like this. I'll explain more about the brush and the what I'm cleaning it with. But because I clean so many shoes and polish so many shoes, I bought myself a tool from America. Never seen them in the UK. This one is called a Shine Boy. And basically, you can, this is meant to be wall mounted, but I have it on a piece of 2x4, which I can then mount into a vise. And it's at a nice working height for me. But basically, the shoe fits on like this, and then you pull the back, this bit here at the back, tighten it out, and then it means I've got two hands free to do the cleaning whilst that's mounted solidly in my vise there. So it's not something you need. I got it on eBay. I paid, I'm sure it was about 20 quid plus postage from the US. But yeah, they're like this, or you can get aluminium ones, and they're called a Shine Boy. And this bit comes off, so you've got a smaller end plate for ladies' shoes, and then this rear bit extends out and locks in place to hold the rear of the shoe. So don't need it, just stick your hand inside. But for me, because I clean a lot of shoes, I just want something that holds them in place at a nice working height for me, and it just makes my life a little bit easier. If I was only doing the odd pair of shoes, you seriously don't need it. But for me, because I do an awful lot, as I do an awful lot, it makes sense for me to get something that makes my life a bit easier. So right, I best get cleaning. Right, shoes in place. I tend to wear gloves when I'm cleaning shoes because, you know, if you're doing your own shoes, it's fine, but you know, I'm cleaning lots of other people's shoes and it's pretty gross. So, first tool, got an old squeezy bottle for the anti-bac. Once it's been used, wash it all out, and I use that and I squirt water onto the shoe, but also onto this is saddle soap. You can buy it in much smaller tubs if you don't use it a lot, but for me, I use a lot of it, so I want to get it in the biggest tub possible. So it's basically a glycerin based soap. It's called saddle soap because it's for cleaning horse saddles and tack and all that sort of stuff. So this is a 500 gram tub, so as you can see, it's about the size of my hand. It's big, and that will keep me going for a long time. So basically, squirt water into it. So you've even got saddle soap on there. We've got a lot of these daubing brushes. So you basically work up a lather and then you clean the shoe. So rather than just cleaning, what it does is it rehydrates and puts the right sort of, I don't know if it's oils, but it keeps the leather soft. So it cleans and conditions. So saddle soap for quality leather is a must-have. It gets all the muck off there. It also will pull off previous layers and layers of polish, and some of the colour may come as well. So once I've foamed it up, I'll then be cleaning it down with basically when my son ruins a pair of trousers at school. I cut them up into scraps and I use that for wipe downs basically. These have got holes in the knees, so would have gone in the bin anyway. So anything like that I use for either polishing cloths or for clean up cloths. So get some water into the saddle soap, get my little brush. Basically want to work up a lather, so that's not enough there, I want more of a lather. You don't need the squirty thing, you can have a little pot, whatever. Build up a lather. Alternate, instead of the squeezy bottle you can just get a little, well, instead of the trigger bottle. That's an old, again, anti-back soap thing, getting up the nice lather. So this is cleaning and conditioning the leather. You want to get into every nook and cranny. It will change the colour of the leather a little bit, it will darken it, because what you'll find is most leather that you've got is dehydrated to a degree. So as you rehydrate it, it's going to darken down. Usually, the saddle soap, you'll see dirt and pigment coming off into the white foam. So you can see there's a combination of dirt and some of the pigment from the leather is coming off as well, and that's why the foam is now kind of looking a little bit dirty. As I said, these would have been 450 new. I picked them up for 56 plus a tenner postage. Shouldn't have been a tenner, it's overcharged for that, but he did a special delivery because obviously they were expensive initially. But once done, triggers in good condition, you'll find will go on eBay for 200 quid in really good condition. In reasonable condition, as in these looked like a state. Guy's never looked after them. He's had them resold properly, but he's never really looked after them. But when they're in a bad state, they don't go very well. If they're looked after, you should get around the £150 mark. So once these are cleaned up, if I wanted to sell them, I'd probably put them up at around 160, and I should easily achieve 140. Once you knock off your 15% for fee, so you're 10% for eBay, 3.4 for PayPal or whatever, or eBay managed payments. So ballpark figure, you're looking at 15% off. So 15% of 140 is £21. So that leaves you with £119. And I paid 60 odd. There's money to be made. So the reality is, I'll invest half hour, 40 minutes of my time, and I will be able to get these looking in pretty good shape. Now I can see you looking at those boots thinking, but what about all the foam and the soap that's in the holes of the broguing and around the welt. Well, as well as drying it off quickly with my son's trousers, his old ripped up trousers, rag, whatever you want, you also then need to go in quickly with a brush to basically get it out of all the nooks and crannies. Don't go and buy them new, go to a car boot sale and you can pick up brushes. So over the years I pick up lots of different brushes. So I've got brushes for cleaning off dry dirt, brushes for taking off brown, can you see that? Yeah, hold on, let it focus. Brown polish, black polish, and this one is for removing saddle soap. So I'll pick up brushes as and when. I pick up a lot because I want ones for putting on polish, ones for taking off polish, certain ones for putting on shoe cream, taking it off, dry, getting dry dirt off, depends. So because I'm picking them up dirt cheap, it doesn't really matter. If you're buying them in the supermarket or wherever, the prices do add up a little bit. So it's just being sensible with your money. Yeah, I have invested in a lot of kit, but then I make a decent chunk out of shoes. I've learned how to look after shoes, and that investment has come back tenfold. These will dry lighter. At the minute, obviously, they're quite... they're not saturated, but they've got a lot of that soap and the glycerin is going back into the leather to make it more supple again, because it was feeling quite dry. If you can see all the crumpling here, because that's wet now, it's just, again, it's people not looking after their shoes. When you wear shoes, you should wear shoe trees. You've seen it in my other videos, and it basically, when you're not wearing it, it fills out the shape of the boot, so these creases don't set in and look ugly. So once I've got I've done that once, I'm gonna swap over to the other boot. You can see instantly colour difference there. And that's got shine on it because it's still got some of the waxes, where here it's stripped the waxes and it's putting moisture back into the shoe. Again, you can see there's massive colour differences, don't worry about that. So I'll swap shoes, I'll get that one done. I won't video both, I'll just do the one at a time. Once that's been cleaned, I'll probably do this twice. Once that's been done and it's dried, then you need to add pigment back, and that's where we're going to use shoe cream rather than polish. The cream has pigment which will recolour the shoe, and then afterwards, once that's all polished and cleaned up, you can then add shoe polish on, which gives it a protective finish. So you can see, look at the state of that. So you've still got, this bit's had less movement, and here you get more wear on the leather, and that's why you can see it doesn't look like he's ever cared or looked after or polished these. So all the top coating of sort of your protective waxes is gone. That's what's soaking up all this the moisture with the saddle soap. So whilst it's now wet, there's now a chance for me to put shoe trees in it, so when it does dry, you can minimise these creases. So I'm gonna go get these stuffed up with you can do it with old newspaper. So you can stuff it with newspaper. You don't want to overstuff it and ruin the shape of the leather. You want to stuff it so it's, well, boot shaped again. And so yeah, once that's in better shape, we'll start adding shoe cream, etc. Actually, the packing paper that the guys provided is that. Let's see if I can get this back to shoe shaped again. So this one is now stuffed with the packing paper that came with it. You just use old newspaper, and that is the one that isn't. So you can see the difference in the shape. So that will dry in much nicer shape, ready for the next stage. With a lighter colour boot, once this is dry, obviously that's going to lighten up, but you can add character. It's already got character because it's worn in, but you can add character with using different colours of shoe cream. So I might use slightly darker shoe cream at the front than at the back, and that'll obviously then get caught up in the broguing, and it just adds character and gives it patina. These will look fantastic when they're done. The shoe cream, you can wait till it's dry, or you can add some now. I'm probably going to, because I'm more likely to be keeping these for myself, I'll add some now. That will help soak in and dry, and then tomorrow I can polish it off and add more, or I could just wait till tomorrow and add it, but I'm just going to do that now. I spend up a little bit for the stuff I use. Collonil is a good brand. Saphir is the best. So I use, again, it's got a small Jones Bootmaker daubing brush. Put it on, and I'll just basically work it in, and I won't polish it off or buff it off. I'm just going to leave it to sit in there and to absorb. This has got pigment in it. Got STK Max, $2.99, normally $4.99. You're usually looking around a £5 for these. So I'll have ones I usually have is a tan, light brown, dark brown, black. That's pretty much all you need, really. Keeps you out of trouble. I mean, I do have more colours, but that's because I'm doing a lot of shoes. If it's just yourself doing a handful of shoes, definitely black, definitely a brown of some sort, probably a light and a dark brown. Tan is useful, so I'll get cracking on this. So you can see it's like almost like a soft butter consistency. See? I'm going to focus. So that will work in and start being absorbed by the leather. So one of the reasons why I would also let it dry, so you can not colour match, but you want to get, you know, roughly what it is, but I know that's roughly the same colour as the back. So I'm going to use this, soak it in now, and then just leave it overnight, and then tomorrow I'll buff it off and add a second coating of this, and probably again leave it for, won't need to leave it overnight again. I'll probably leave it for an hour or so to soak in, buff it off, and then see where we are. At that point I might start using some darker stuff at the front end to try and add some character. It's up to you. You don't need to do that, it's just me. I quite like a shoe that's got a little bit of character, and that's what you can do. You can add that with shoe creams and polishes, especially if you've got a shoe with broguing. Just working this cream into it. This has got a bellows tongue, which means that rather than the tongue being split all the way down, that means you can go up to about here in water, and it protects your stops the water sloshing into your shoe, your boot, because it's attached part of the way up. You'll find Doc Martens will have bellows tongues as well. Just working it in. Basically, you just want to make sure that, I mean, I don't want it, lots of it sitting on the surface. I want to work it in so that it's doing its job, but it is nourishing, moisturising, and conditioning, but adding back pigment as well. I'm just going to thoroughly work that in all the way around, and then just let that sit to dry overnight, and tomorrow I'll hit it again. You definitely want to work everything in, especially when I was doing the cleaning earlier, work it in all around the welt, because if that dries and cracks, it's no longer a waterproof boot. So you want to keep that nice and moisturised and clean and nourished, and that will make sure your boot is as watertight as possible. A Goodyear welted boot, this you could have this, as long as you keep it in good condition, you could have this resold again and again and again. I'm going to say that, I don't know, it's difficult to say how old these are because they've not been looked after, but I've got a pair of Grensons that, so similar quality brand. I think they were, what were they, 260 new. I didn't pay the full price, I got them on sale, but they, as long as I look after them like this every now and again, give it a good clean, polished, moisturised, resole them when they need to, they will last me the rest of my life. So yeah, pay up for good shoes and look after them, and yeah, they will look after you. So now the next day, it's about 18 hours after we cleaned it with cleaned the boots with the saddle soap and put on the first coating of shoe cream to rehydrate the leather. These are all stuffed with paper at the minute, so I've got the boot laces in there so I don't lose them. So I'm going to pop it back on the shoe holder, and we're going to give it a quick buff to get off any excess of the shoe cream, and then give it another once over with the shoe cream to get more pigment back into it, because you can see the colours, it's nice and rich here, it's still a bit dirtyish there. The reality is I'm probably going to add some patina with darker colours at the front anyway, but we're getting to a much better looking shoe. So let's give it a once over. Using my brown. The other thing you'll notice, look at the state of this coat. Basically, it's quite dirty work, cleaning and polishing up shoes. So this is just a coat I'd actually bought to resell. Bought it at a car boot sale for a couple of quid, and then I found out that the zip was broken. I tried the zip there, but it seemed to work when I bought it. When I got it home, I couldn't get it zipped up, so I just used poppers. It just means that I don't get my own clothes dirty, because as you can see, this is not the sort of stuff that you want on your clothing. So just take some sensible precautions and either wear an old top or just get yourself a cheap coat, like a raincoat type coat, lightweight coat that you can wear when you're cleaning shoes. Right, time to put some more shoe cream on now. So I'm going to go back on with the sort of tan. This is Collonil. They also make really good waterproofing stuff. And then I might go a little bit darker. I've got some, what's this, Boston shoe cream, so I might go a little bit darker around the top, add some patina. So again, it's got that sort of buttery consistency. Don't go crazy, just get a little bit, just work it in. Don't go crazy, you don't need a lot. It's just to try and nourish and colour that leather. To be honest, there's so much of the dye has gone from the original leather on these that you potentially would have to re-dye the whole shoes to get them back to this sort of tan colour. But I'm not too worried, as I'm gonna darken them up and add some patina with the darker finish. So these will look like a good quality used pair of boots. Well, they are good quality pair of used boots. These will still last an extra 20 years. So yeah, you look after them and all will be good. Right, I'm going to do the same on the other shoe. You don't need to see that, and then I'll top up with the darker. So I'll leave that whilst that's sitting for 10 minutes. I'll do the other shoe, the other boot. Again, whilst that was drying, I just had a old soup tub in there just to give it a little bit of shape. Again, it's quite dark at the front, but we can work with that. So whilst that's drying, I'll get the other one done, then I'll buff them both off and then add the slightly darker shoe cream. Right, we go a little bit darker now. So rather than using the tan daubing brush, I've got an old toothbrush. So whenever you finish using the toothbrush, don't bin them. They're really useful for cleaning, whether it's shoes. You can get into all the you know, the welt and the nooks and the crannies, football boots, whatever else. They're a really handy cleaning tool. So just, you know, obviously clean them off, get the toothpaste out of them. But you can use them for lots of other bits and pieces. So now I'm going to darken these up using, is this a mid brown? What is this? Deep shine, just standard brown. So. But yeah, Boston's a good shoe cream. The best that I've used is a company called Saphir. It's a French brand. I use their polishes a lot. Got anything handy? That company, Saphir. Their polishes are the best. They're slightly different. They're more expensive. They're about £6 for a tin. And I wouldn't use them on all shoes. I'd only use them on the much higher end, when I'm cleaning up Jimmy shoes and stuff like that. I use Saphir, and I'll put that in the listing that they've been polished and cleaned, cared for with Saphir. I mention that it is the best, and it genuinely does give them the shoes a better look. I wouldn't bother, you know, if it's like a Jones Bootmaker or Clark's or like your standard high street shoes. You know, don't use the best guess ingredients, whatever, tools when it comes to that sort of stuff. But for your higher end shoes, yeah, I tend to try and use the best if I can, and it does make a difference. So this is definitely going to darken down the whole boot, which is what I want anyway. But it's nice. The darker tones will work its way into the broguing and the stitching, and it will just add character and patina. Anywhere though where there's been sort of dry wrinkles, it will work its way into those wrinkles and scratches, and it will look good. I'm giving it a once over all the way around, but I will do additional coats at certain areas, so around the broguing, especially around the toes, because I want these to just give them a bit of character. Do a bit more up here. Right. Let that one dry and soak in for a little bit. Oh, just a bit there. Again, you don't need this shoe holding device. You just stick your arm in there and just work it in like this. I just prefer using that. You do what you need to do. Okay, that's had some time to soak in. Right, now going to hit it with polish. So the saddle soap cleaned and nourished, the shoe cream nourished and coloured, and then the shoe polish will give a protective shine coating on it. This is mid-tan. So I'll do mid-tan because that's what the back is, and then I might do a little bit darker at the front. So this is usually standard, was it Kiwi? I can't even remember what I just had there. Yeah, Kiwi Parade Gloss, mid-tan. Got my tan, again, car boot sale. Couple of brushes that were brand new, unused, in a manky old leather box. I'm sure I paid like 50p, so one's got tan off, the other one has got tan on. So just dab it in. You don't want to go crazy with the polish, you just add in a light. Just want to give it a very light once over. You don't want to build up too thick a layer. And this has got a high proportion of waxes, high percentage of waxes in the polish, and that's what gives it that protective finishing. Right, I'll hit both shoes with that and then polish it off. Right, that's been sitting for a while, so tan off. Now you want to shine these as fast as you can, because the build up of friction from the brush bristles, which help give you the shine. So that's getting a bit loose. What I might do, because I did that with mid-tan, I might just do the toe cap with dark tan. Got my tan on brush again. Just going to hit the toe and the brogan with the dark tan. And then again, you get tan off brush. Gives it that sort of antique finish, having a mixture of the tones. Keep slipping a bit slowly. And then to finish it off, getting one of Archie's old shirts. See coming off. To get a super high shine, actually the best thing you can use is sort of ladies' nylon tights. Something about the nylon that helps create more heat. That's what I'm doing is it's taking off excess polish, but also by the friction it melts it and makes a nice sheen. The best sheen, old pair of ladies' tights. I'm gonna build that up. Yeah. Get a nice shine across the toe cap. So, boots are now done. Got a wooden boot tree in there to keep the form so it doesn't get knackered and all knocked out of shape like it was previously. But that is 100 times better than it was. It's not perfect. Obviously it lost a lot of the pigment down here, but this will continue to age gracefully. Guess one way I could have done things was stripped all the waxes back with the saddle soap, and I could have actually dyed them all the same colour. So I would have dyed them sort of a mid-brown, but I quite like the difference in tones. Yeah, vast difference to how they started. But as they fit me, I think these might be a keeper. So that is a pair of skanky looking trickers brought up to that. And these should last me 20-30 years. So yeah, happy with that. Right, anyways, hopefully that was useful to you. You can see how and why I did things, and yeah, I'll try and do more of these sort of don't know if they're really tutorial videos. I just show how I do stuff. But yeah, that's a pair of knackered leather trickers brought back to life. So yeah, my name's Lee. This is Cola Flipper, and I'll see you next time.